Hello there, this is Cheryl, all things Cheryl, all things Cheryl. I'm here to basically give a review and a recap on Black Lightning. I just finished binge watching Black Lightning, and I don't know too much about Black Lightning. I do know that Black Lightning is basically coming from DC. I think it's the DC Comics, and they bought it to CW. And I was basically looking for a show that I basically would want to review and recap. So I heard about Black Lightning. I knew that it was in production, and I was trying to basically watch it, and I ended up, excuse me, I ended up, excuse me, I ended up binge watching. So basically, Black Lightning is about a teacher, and I took some notes about the teacher, and the teacher's name was Jeffrey Pierce. And apparently, Jeffrey Pierce was a um, athlete, a famous athlete, and but he was also a superhero. But he had basically went into retirement, and that he was in retirement for basically 9 years. And within those 9 years, he put most of his interest and all of his interest into being a principal of a high school. And the reason why Black Lightning basically um, became a superhero is because the neighborhood that he lived in was basically drug infested, was controlled by a couple of gangs, but this one particular gang was called 100s. And in episode one, this is where we get introduced to Black Lightning being a principal, coming out of retirement. We also get introduced to his wife, who is a neurosurgeon. We also get introduced to his two daughters, which I find it very interesting. He has two daughters, one in middle school and one at college. His oldest daughter, which is very, very refreshing, which I'm looking forward to, um, is a lesbian, a black lesbian. And the family is very, very comfortable with her sexuality. I'm liking it. Um, and I mean, I haven't learned the characters or anything because, like, basically, I said, I've been watched it, and I don't know anything about the DC characters because I'm kind of a Marvel comic book person. So, I'm basically, gearing up for Black Panther. And due to the fact that Black Panther had their premiere this weekend. So, but getting back on the Ben watching, we know that Lynn, who is Black Panther's wife, and they are separated, but they're not separated. They really haven't divorced because they basically still in love with each other. And it's very, very refreshing to see black love on the screen in a positive way. And although when I started to binge watch it, I noticed that there were a lot of killings, there were a lot of blood shooting. Um, in the first episode, we find out that one of the main characters, which I think his name was called Lala, and Lala was basically the kingpin within the community. And a lot of the people who were dealing drugs or were dealing with were basically kids. So what he goes in and Lala goes in and he recruits a lot of the kids from the ages of look like 6 or 7. In one particular scene, we see that I found that very, very interesting. Him, and like I said, I've got to learn these characters, guys, so give me time. So, but I'm introducing you to Black Lightning, letting you know that I looked at Black Lightning. I looked at all 3 episodes, 1, 2, and 3. Each of the episodes are called, a subject. The first one was called A Resurrection. And basically what resurrection is that Black Lightning is basically coming out of retirement and he's being resurrected. And so he's basically going back out in the street, although he really doesn't want to do it, but due to the fact that there's a lot of crime, it's gotten worse. And so a lot of the people are basically wanting him to come. Then we have another scene that's called, like I said, I did take notes, but like I said, I just wanted to be consistent in my, putting on my my thing. So let me just grab my notes. As you can see, I did take some notes. And so the first episode was called Resurrection, which is basically the introduction to Jefferson Pierce, who is a high school principal. And we get introduced to, we find out that Pierce has 2 daughters. He has an older daughter who is in college and who also work at the high school with him. Then he has a younger daughter who's in high school. I guess because they said that she has about 2 more years before she be going off to college. So that tells me that she's probably in the 10th grade. And then this is where we also get introduced to Lala, who is the kingpin for his particular gangster. Then we have the second one. Like I said, I've been watched, and so hopefully, in episode 4, I'll basically learn the names and everything. And then with episode 2 was called The Book of Hope, which is basically he is giving the community hope due to the fact that he came out of retirement episode 1 to rescue his daughter, who was basically interested in one of the kingpins, that was interested in one of the guys who was a part of Lala's gang, but she had no idea that he was a part of the gang. Basically, she found out about it. This is when we find out that Jefferson, they're not really staying together, but you can also see that they really, really love each other. They have serious passion for each other. And so that episode was called The Book of Hope. Then the third episode, which I find that it was very, very interesting. And with episode 2, there is a albino man in there, and I wrote his name down, but I'll learn it hopefully when episode 4 comes through on Tuesday, because it's coming on Tuesday night. I'll have his name and everything packed down. But I kind of just wanted to kind of like look at it and get a feel for it to see whether or not if this series would be something that I would want to learn about it. And let me just tell you guys, this is very, very refreshing. This is very, very good with the third episode. The third episode was called The Book of Barry. And basically what that third episode was, it dealt with a woman, and we find out that in episode 2, this woman had a daughter who was tricking in one of the hotels. I think that hotel was called the Seahorse. And what they were doing is that they were bringing in young girls and having them tricked and everything. And we find out that I think the young lady's name was Lynn Wander. We find out that Lynn used to be a student of Jefferson Pierce. And she basically winds up getting killed due to the fact that she was trying to save her daughter, but she couldn't really save her daughter. And so the leader, the kingpin leader, wind up killing her. And so this is one reason why. And then on the third episode, this is when they get into the fact that they were having this the funeral for Lynn and Wanda, who daughter was in the hotel and whose daughter was also tricking, which I find very, very interesting. It is an all black cast. Now we have an albino who is also a part of this kingpin organization, but come to find out that this albino guy has a boss over top of him. And guess who that boss is? It is a female. And I find it very, very interesting that that female boss, who's the kingpin, or who I don't know what they call the women when they get into the drugs. I forgot what she's a woman, but that's who it is. It's Jill Scott here. It's Jill Scott, and Jill Scott's character is the overall boss of the whole entire drug activity that's taking place in this, which I found that very, very interesting. Like I said, I didn't really get into the characters, learn the characters. It's because I wanted to see this new series, and so I just binge watched it to see whether or not if it would be, a program or a series that I would want to watch. Now, I'm not really a CW fan, and I believe that CW is basically famous for the superheroes shows and everything. I think Flash and a couple of other stories come on CW. But I find it very, very interesting is because we are beginning to be, I'm finding that we are beginning to be very inundated with a lot of black characters, black storyline characters that really have some meat and substance to it. Black Panther just had their premiere this week, and let me just tell you, I am all for it. I'm just like waiting in line. Next week is the opening act for Black Panthers, and so there's two shows that we're basically, those of us who are into the blackness of movies and having black movies. It's about time we have some positive movies and stuff, like just positive stuff, period. And Black Lightning, I think if you're interested in something good, something different, and seeing a black hero, I'm so glad that our kids of today will see a black character in their comic books, because I'm not really a comic book character, although I used to be. DC Comics, I looked at DC Comics. I'm a kind of a fan of DC Comics, and I'm kind of a fan of Marvel Comics. So it's kind of interesting. It's because Black Lightning is a part of the DC, I believe the DC Comics. I'm not quite sure. I could be wrong. Like I say, I'm an old head, so I'm still learning. And now we also have Marvel Comics, and they're bringing out Black Panthers. So Tuesday, Black Lightning, and then that following Thursday is the opening for Black Panthers. So in the meantime, this is All Things Cheryl. Just coming to give you a little bit. I didn't really give you the breakdown of the characters and who did what. And oh, by the way, we're finding out that his older daughter does have superpowers. She finds out about that superpower when she twice when she wakes up. But like I said, I didn't really get into it a little bit. I just kind of sort of want to be consistent, because I did do a video last week, and I just want to be kind of consistent. Tell you what, guys, being inconsistent, if you can at least give like 15 or 20 minutes to just kind of like click in, watch it, because really YouTube is dealing with, they're dealing with clicks, and yes, they're dealing with subscription and everything. But they're also dealing with the amount of time, watch time. So if you guys could at least give me at least 5, 10, or 15 minutes, because this video is going to go to at least maybe 20 minutes. If you could do at least 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, my watch time could increase. I also would like for you all, I'm trying to take my time, to click, to let YouTube know that you clicked on it, to also comment, guys, just comment. If I make a mistake, you can say, look, Cheryl, you made a mistake here, you made a mistake there, be careful, but at least let me know that, you're watching it, and I can say, okay, I could do that. Also need for you to hit that notification. So when I, come back and I do another video, because I am going to come back and do another video, because Monique is at it again, so I got to go back and, do some research. And now she's saying that Netflix didn't offer her $3 million, so we don't know what the deal is. Hit the notification, share. Oh, what is it? Hit the notification, share, click, and subscribe. There it is. Share, click, subscribe, and notification. Until the next time, this is me, Cheryl. All things news and all things that's going around in my world. Oh, by the way, check out my hairdo. I cut my hair myself. But anyway, cool, peace, love.